This is the MLW Radio Network. This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's going on, man? What's on your mind?
What a day. What a goddamn day. In a good way. In a good way. Yeah. So, Inside Baseball, we're recording 8/14. What's today's date?
Today is the 7th of October in the year of our Lord, 2022.
Yeah. Phillies made it to the playoffs. And for the first time in 11 years.
Crazy.
Insanity. Awesome. Insanity. And this is why I love sports. In a lot of ways, I compare sports to professional wrestling. So the last time the Phillies were in the playoffs, it was 11 years ago to this day, today.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they lost. They got eliminated by the St. Louis Cardinals. So today, 11 years to the day, and on a Friday as well, their first game back in the playoffs is against the St. Louis Cardinals. And their first playoff win in 11 years was against the St. Louis Cardinals today.
That's crazy, dude. That's absolutely nuts.
That's why I love sports. I could equate everything to wrestling, you know. So, like if it's scripted, you'd be like, "Oh, this is corny," right? But no, it's happening. And the Phillies had a really good. Well, it was a fucking tight game.
Yeah,
like I'm sitting on the couch and my fucking asshole's giving the couch a hickey. I'm just fucking. I'm just fucking. I'm like, if they're not getting hits, I change position.
Yep.
Like. And it came down to about like the 9th inning. I'm sitting there, and this is why you gotta get on Patreon. .com/. I was on the couch like this. Imagine being like if you're an 80s kid and you try to position the antenna to get the perfect reception. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't have cable, you got rabbit ears, and you got to position just to try to get the TV to work, and you got to stand in the right spot, or that was me. But also, here's why I love sports, and this is why I love Mrs. Meanie too. Before I'm getting ahead of myself. So,
cuz.
Yeah, cuz I do multi chats as I'm going along, right? And there's two things you don't. For those who don't understand, like if you're not in America or you just don't follow baseball, there's two rules in baseball. If the game's going by quick, don't fucking say it out loud, because then your team is going to shit the bed. Second rule, if there's a no-hitter or a perfect game going on, you don't say it out loud, because it's the fucking jinx. Aaron Nola last week in the game where they clinched had a fucking perfect game going into the 7th inning, and they put a little thing on the TV saying perfect game alert, and they fucking gave up.
Oh, no.
So today.
They did that? Are you fucking kidding me, man?
Yeah, fucking Comcast did that.
Oh, my God. Why would they be so stupid?
Or NBC Sports Philadelphia, whatever.
Dumb.
So today, the scores, the game 0-0. I forget what the pitcher was for the Phillies. Gave up a walk, gave up a home. Well, and right after the walk, I look at one of my chats that I'm in talking about the game. My friend goes, "Man, this game's going by quick. Nothing's happening." And when you know, the fucking Cardinals hit a fucking 2-run home run.
Of course they did.
I was like, dude, I said, you're the jinx. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So, and this is why, and here's why I love sports. Here's why I love Mrs. Meanie. I'm sitting in one of my many Meanie yoga poses trying to get the Phillies, luck back. Mrs. Meanie runs downstairs with my grandmother's Phillies hat.
Nice.
Which we have up in our bedroom on the wall. And she puts it over the TV. Going into the ninth, Phillies rally back, tie up the game. We're like, holy shit. All right. Then they go ahead. Then they put up like 6 points in the ninth inning.
Wow.
Which I guess that's I didn't know it was a new major league record. Nobody's ever done that. Like come back from down 2-0 and went up 6-2, So like, and the cool thing is like, she brought down my grandma's hat. My grandma was the biggest Phillies fan in the world. She's in the Philadelphia Inquirer the day after the Phillies won the World Series in '80. So that, was our good juju. And you can just hear everybody on my block with their doors and windows open, just screaming. We're all just yelling and screaming. It's like such a great moment. And, that this is all after the fact that like we were, she was like, man, I don't have any, like all my Phillies gear is like beat up. Let's go get some new Phillies gear. So we go down to the Phillies ballpark where they got the team store. So walk in, all of a sudden I hear Meanie. I turn around and are you familiar with the guys in the Pandemic Crew?
The Pandemic Crew, no. Okay,
so when everything was locked down, they were having baseball games, but fans weren't allowed in the stadium. There's a crew of people who would come down to the ballpark and stand outside the gate on behind the stadium and cheer on the team from the street. And somebody dubbed them the Pandemic Crew. So like that's what they became. That's how the nickname stuck. So I ran into the guys from the Pandemic Crew. They're like, are you here for the pep rally? I was like, no, I was here to buy some gear. And then all of a sudden, like we buy our gear and we go outside and there's like Gritty, there's Swoop, there's Gritty from the Flyers, there's Swoop from the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, there's Franklin the dog from the Sixers, there's one other, I don't remember. And they're all waiting for the Philly Fanatic to show up, who's like bringing a busload of fans. And I was like, I am I'm like the pro wrestling mascot for Philadelphia. So I have to jump in there. And I walked up to Gritty and he just stares at me and we started playing with each other's beards and snapped photos. And I think Swoop from the Eagles photobombed us and stuff like that. And Franklin came over and played with my beard too. I was like, hey, dude.
That's amazing.
Met you backstage at AEW. He went, oh, yeah, that's right. But, he pantomimed like he knew it. But, yeah, that happened. Phillies had a really good comeback win. Eagles had a fucking phenomenal comeback win last week against the Jags. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Phillies play tomorrow night, 8:30 against the Cardinals. And ironically, the Eagles play in Arizona against the Arizona Cardinals. So it's Philly Cardinal, Phillies against the Cardinals. Philadelphia against Cardinals all weekend, which is, I guess, unique, I don't know. So I could look. I could be sending all happy for naught. We'll see what happens tomorrow night, Saturday, and this Sunday. Hopefully, the scary thing about the Phillies playoffs is best of 3. So if you win 2, you advance. If you lose 2, you're done. So if they win tomorrow, they advance. And then Eagles, hopefully, the thing with the Eagles, they haven't won in Arizona since like 2001.
And they're the last undefeated team in the NFL right now, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
They haven't won in Arizona since 2001, but also the Arizona Cardinals haven't won a home game yet. So flip a coin.
It's definitely going to be Philadelphia. I am hesitant to put my stamp of approval on it because, as you know, anyone who watches the show and anyone who follows Philadelphia sports knows that as soon as we get ahead of ourselves, that's when things happen. But I got to tell you one quick thing.
Yes.
Go ahead. You first.
In the words of Winston Wolfe, let's not start sucking our own dicks just yet.
That is great wisdom. But I have to ask you something. Next time you're in the city during the week and you happen to stumble across our blessed Lord and Savior Gritty, please call me and I will Uber my ass down there in order to give blessings and good tidings to the blessed one himself, Gritty. I was so jealous when I saw those photos today. I was like, oh my God, when Meanie met Gritty.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. We showed up and not knowing
right
that's going to happen. Like we pulled up to the ballpark and parked, and there's like news vans outside, and you're like, oh, okay, they're probably going to interview a couple fans. Are you ready for Red October? Yeah, yeah. And but no, somebody's like, yeah, there's full on fucking pep rally going on.
Crazy, man. It's unbelievable.
So I got myself a Schwarber jersey. And I got a Steve Carlton.
Oh, nice.
Never go wrong with it.
No,
Both.
Man. I used to have one of the shirts back from, like, it was the light blue with the red lettering on it. It had a Carlton, I think, the 32 on the back. I spilled bleach all over it, and it was fucking toast, so I have to get it. So you're at the stadium, and I love your blue hat, which I feel like it fits the motif with the sports entertainment glasses. So... yeah, I love it.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, I love the Phillies, but red really doesn't look good on me. I don't know why. I'm a blue, I'm a gray, I'm a green.
Isn't that funny how colors work like that though? Like how you don't have a specific, like I find that when I wear, as you know, I have my own, I have a shoot job, and when I wear specific clothing, like color, it washes me out. So when it's something light or like a pastel or something like that, I'm totally washed out. But if it's like a dark, like a blue or a black or even a red, I'm good. But it's funny. I'm surprised that red washes you out the way it does.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. That red, I'm okay with orange, but I don't know. Of course I like green.
Right.
Or black, which I've been meaning to go back down to, I want to go back visit the Eagles store and give me some black jerseys.
Oh man, yeah. I had, so for a while, I might pull it out of the closet and show you one of these days. I have a Shane Victorino jersey, who was my favorite player during the 2008 season.
Hawaiian.
And it's got a patch from the 2009 series on it. I had a jersey that had an 2008 patch on it, but unfortunately, my ex-girlfriend took it in our breakup, and I never got it back. So... and then I also had a Westbrook jersey that I had for quite some time. It was a white one with I think it was the dark Kelly green numbers on it. Or is it like white and black? I can't remember. I have a photo of it, but same thing.
That his era of Eagles is midnight green. But like, unless it was I don't think they did the throwbacks yet.
No, I don't think they did either.
No, there was one year they came. It was like the anniversary of the Eagles versus the Packers, and they wore the Kelly Green throwbacks.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that was the game Kevin Cobb got knocked out and Mike Vick made his Eagles debut.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. I
next year. The Kelly Greens are back next year.
I've been meaning to pick up a jersey here. I just been waiting. I have to bide my time and pick up a good one and really wait. Jalen Hurts looks like he's playing incredibly well. I'm excited for Philadelphia sports right now. I got to tell you, like, I'm super stoked. I remember watching the 2009 series when I was in college. I was in Westchester. We were staying at a Jitters bar in the back. You ever been to Jitters bar before in Westchester?
Nope.
All right. So it's this like little tiny place. It's probably the size, like if you're looking at the screen here right now, which is another great reason for you to sign up at patreon.com/mind of the meeting. It's like the size of my window is what it feels like. Shout out to Cameron Taylor. But there's like, it's just like the bar is on the right hand side, and then you walk down and there's this like literally a square room where everybody just stands around. And there's this tiny little, like, it used to be like a tube TV up in the corner. And it was the first year they had the flat screen. So we were all in there watching the Yankees and the Phillies play in the 2009 series. And it was dope, man. Like, I think it may have been one of the games that they actually won. And we're like, oh, yeah, great, we're going to win again. And then, they shit the bed. But exciting time to be a Philadelphia sports fan right now. So I have questions about the blessed one, though. Did he smell any particular way, any essence that you can report regarding Gritty? Because I know there's a lot of talk about it, but I want to make sure.
He was citrusy.
Incredible. Just to be in the presence of Gritty must have been.
Yeah, I mean, he laid eyes on my beard and just came up and automatically started playing with my beard. I posted a photo today where we were stroking each other's beards.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I was like, no, man, the day he's in Philly. Fuck. I should have been there.
Dude, it was so unplanned.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it was great.
I just like, it's random. Like all of my friends will like randomly meet Gritty places. And it's like, I'm trying to meet Gritty and I can't, like, I just can't ever get right. And then it's like, all of a sudden, everywhere I go, it's like, shit, he's there. He's fucking there.
See him not.
Hold on.
I was like, is that me?
Little inside baseball. I was shout out to my boy Nick. I want to say Nick Bacone. Nick Bacone.
Close enough.
He does a lot of really good social media stuff. And what he did today, like right before I came on and joined the feed here, he takes the radio feed and overdubs it over the national broadcast so you can hear what the Phillies announcers were saying during the big plays.
That's cool, man.
But he also did the St. Louis radio, so I got to hear how they reacted. But like, I guess I was paused on the thing so long that I just start automatically. So that was Larry Anderson. You heard
talking through there.
Yeah, that was right as the last out. That was the last thing I was looking at. And it just started auto playing while you were talking. So my apologies.
Oh no, that's okay. Like I said, I was watching SmackDown before this started, which we'll get into in a second. And I closed the YouTube TV window, but then I thought I minimized it for a second, and I was like, "Oh fuck, did I not do that? Did I not do that correctly?" Also, too, I just want to touch on something real fast with Andy Schlichter saying Adam has not been paying attention to the Flyers. If you're excited about him this year, sir, I didn't say I was excited about the Flyers. I said I was excited about Gritty. There is a difference, good sir. Got a lot of comments right now in the pod squad. Lots of great stuff going on. Going back here a minute here where it's Lucha was saying that Dick's put out the Mets playoff gear before the Mets clinched the division, and then ESPN also flashed a graphic heading into the ninth that the Cardinals were 93-0, leading by 2 runs.
Gotta love the jinx, man.
Man, dude,
I'm a true believer of the jinx.
I definitely am the same way. I tend to not watch like playoff games just because I know that I'm going to be a jinx. I know, like anytime I watch a playoff game, they lose like right away. So
yeah.
Looks like Raven got inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame today. So
awesome.
Switching gears here, that's a really big deal.
Before we totally switch gears, my buddy Nick Piccone, follow him on. If you're a Philly sports fan, follow him at lowercase. What's that? Underscore. Okay. At _PICCONE. That's his Twitter. And that's what interrupted the show.
Go ahead and give him a follow. But Meanie, I just want to know, what are your thoughts on Raven being inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame?
I mean, is a crucial part of their history, you know. I like Impact. I love the guys who work there. How long has the Impact been around? Like 20 years now?
I think it started. I'll pull it up here. I'll see when it actually began. I know it started after WCW went out.
Yeah.
Let me see. May 10th, 2002. So it was shortly after Impact, or that WCW was purchased by WWE.
I'm just asking because he was a vital part of their early history. So absolutely, he should be in. He should be in the WWE Hall of Fame as well.
Agreed. Which, as a reminder, friends, I'm going to do this every week, Meanie. I don't care if you're upset. I'm doing it every week. Blue Meanie, BWO, WWE Hall of Fame. Dare I say it? The BWO Hall of Fame should happen in 2024. I'm just throwing it out there. Anybody that's listening to me, he's not asking me to do this. He's not paying me to do this. doing it on my own free will, but continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he was, thank you. He was very vital in the early part of, TNA Impact history. So he absolutely belongs in there. And he should just be in the wrestling, every Hall of Fame, just not only for what he's done as a competitor, for his influence on the business, because he created characters like the Dudleys. He, created me. He, launched Stevie. He did so much for so many people. And whoever was willing to listen and learn, he would pull people aside and teach whoever wanted to be taught.
It's amazing.
There's a lot of stuff he did with us that they do at the Performance Center now, with like skull sessions and teaching, promo class and stuff like that. And I mean, it'd be awesome if they brought him down there just to do, promo class and stuff like that. He's one of the best minds in the business. Why
do you think? I know. I've heard. Friend of the show, Eric Bischoff. Listen to 83 Weeks, by the way, if you haven't checked out that podcast yet. Why do you think he didn't get the Raven gimmick when he was in WCW? What do you think it was? Any?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did. I mean, that's a question for Eric. I mean,
I just meant like from you, if you knew any like maybe inner context, because I know watching Raven and the Ravens flock when they were in ECW, that shit was over as hell. And I'm like, I thought it would. You think about it, like a lot of things would translate from ECW to a wider audience, rather, because Taz crossed over, and I feel like the Dudleys crossed over. Obviously, the BWO crossed over as well. But that never seemed to really land for some reason, and I'm not sure, or maybe land as well as it should have.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's just, I guess, just a matter of taste. Some people like chocolate, some people like vanilla, and for whatever reason, Eric Bischoff didn't get or understand the characters beyond me. But and I love Eric Bischoff too, but. He said to him, he's like, he's not to him, wrestling isn't about the matches. It's about the story, and the characters and stuff like that. So,
right.
I mean, that's a unique take from somebody who ran a wrestling company,
Little Jimmy says, I got to talk to Crowbar last night about the two biggest and best AEW debuts, his and yours, he said, and it meant the world to him. So that must have been cool to be able to work with Crowbar again in AEW. I know it's been a year already, hasn't it?
Year to the day yesterday.
Crazy.
Which is, you follow me on the social media, I reposted the video. I came out to help Crowbar against Joey Janela, and that was a lot of fun. And can't believe how fast time flew by in that year.
Yeah, man.
But and they were just in Philly last week, almost a week off from the time they were here last year. So, but yeah, it was important. The thing about that whole thing is, I guess Crowbar was already, approached about being there, and then I was approached about being there, and then, they had the idea of putting me with Crowbar, which is awesome, and we're like psyched. It is like, this makes total sense. Hopefully, it turns into something. It didn't, but
right.
We were hopeful, and we get to the building that day, and they have the dry erase board up with all the matches, and we're like, okay, we're on Dark, the Dark show. So, and then we're like, there's this thing where if you don't have an entrance, you're preloaded, which means you go down to the ring with the referee and just stand there and wait for him to announce you while your opponent, and like everybody's like, I think you guys. So one of the referees was like, I think you guys deserve an entrance. I was like, I would hope so.
Yeah.
So, that became the whole like running gag. I was like, man, I wonder if we're going to be preloaded today, or that's like, they sound like the kiss of death. It could take away any kind of like surprise or whatever. But eventually, I forget who. Somebody came up to us and said, yeah, you guys have an entrance. And at first it was going to be me coming down, and then they're like, no, Meanie should come down. Colt Cabana came up with this great idea where he's like, why don't, Janela, you act like you're going to leave, and Meanie comes out and, send you back to the ring, which was, we're like, yeah, that makes all the fucking sense in the world. And, watching that footage back, another great thing I like about when I came out for AEW is there was no music. It was just, I just walked out and you can organically hear the crowd reacting in waves,
right,
so to speak. The initial, hey, that looks like, oh, yeah, that is, that kind of.
I was going to ask because I saw it on Twitter and I had my volume down because I was sitting at my desk at work and I was like, did they not play his music? And I was like, I swore they did, but I guess I was wrong. Yeah.
And, another great thing besides working for AEW, working in my hometown is, Tony Schiavone, hearing Tony Schiavone say my name.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone, Big Show, and Mark Henry are calling the action. And, it was very cool to hear, Tony Schiavone say, it's the Blue Meanie,
Yeah.
So
that is pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm still in the hunt for the John Cena called Blue Meanie match. So Pod Squad, there is a reward. There is a reward.
It's supposed to be on one of the UPW home video things. So it's out there,
If you can find it, y'all send it over here because I can't wait to hear that.
Blue Meanie versus the Navajo Warrior for the UPW internet title, which I was like, I know I spent a lot of time online, but you don't have to give me a fucking belt for it. Just.
Did Cornette ever call one of your matches?
I don't know.
I feel like I know you said Gorilla Monsoon and John Cena.
John Cena, Larry Zbyszko, Lance Russell, Joey Styles, of course, Jim Ross, Kevin Kelly, Bruce Pritchard, maybe?
Bruce Pritchard.
I called a match with Shane McMahon. Me, Kevin Kelly, and Shane McMahon did called a match for Sunday Night Heat.
That's cool.
Which is interesting being on the headsets and hear what they actually have to listen to and go through.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. What is that like sitting at the desk? Now, obviously, was Vince there or was it a producer?
I don't think Vince did that one, but like you could just hear people calling camera shots in the headset and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Again, this is over 20 years ago, so it's a little faded, but you definitely hear people, yelling out instructions in your headset, which, I really wasn't privy to because like me and Shane had like a couple things he was going to say to me, I was going to say to him, and
preloaded, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, just waiting for the cue from because that was when I think it was Al Snow versus Goldust, or no, it was Al Snow versus somebody, and then Goldust comes out and steals the Al Snow's head.
Oh, I see.
Which led to me wanting to bring back BlueDust to be the guy who goes and steals Al Snow's head back for him, as BlueDust.
Right. See, I know that like when I have like incidental or when, we have kids running in and like there's sort of noise going on around me, it's hard for me to focus and keep my train of thought. So for someone like Michael Cole, who has worked for years up until very recently with Vince McMahon, literally sometimes screaming in his ear while he's talking, that's crazy to me to think about having to work, maintain the show, and also translate or get transmitted to and then repeat back what he's saying. That's intense, man.
Well, then again, he was a war reporter, but before WWE, so I'm sure he had to.
Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that little tidbit there that I'm learning right now. I'm going to give that one a yo cuz. Hold on. I'm going to give that one a yo cuz. Yo cuz. There it is. What? Yeah. He was a war reporter?
Yeah, he did legit like news. He was. I'm not even going to botch it and say which war, but if you look into his Wikipedia or whatever,
off to the Google machine I go.
Yeah, Michael Cole was a war reporter, so he. I'm sure he, WWE was old hat for him, when it comes to.
This is blowing my fucking mind right now. Check this out, guys. Michael Cole began his career in the media as a journalist working for CBS Radio. He covered the 1988 political campaign or presidential campaign of Michael Dukakis, who was the Democratic candidate who ran against George H.W. Bush. He reported on the campaign of Bill Clinton in 92 and then covered the 51-day siege at the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas.
I would love to find sound of that.
And he spent 9 months covering the Yugoslavian Civil War, and he covered the Oklahoma City bombing aftermath. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. Wow. That is crazy. I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, so he, he's used to a little bit of chaos.
I could imagine. Yeah, so this is probably like old hat for him, I would say. Okay, well, Vince is streaming, but I've had bombs dropped around me, so what's the difference?
And, I don't think Michael Cole gets the respect he deserves. Oh. I mean, people shit on him like it's still his first day on the job, and he's one of the best announcers around. I don't care what anybody says. He's great.
Well, it's also go ahead.
And, he calls WWE style matches now. Like when they had other shows, like maybe in Japan or whatever, you got to hear him just be like a regular wrestling announcer. But Vince had wanted things called a certain way, and with Vince gone, and now that we're under the Hunter regime, the announcing seems to have shifted a little bit, and stuff like that. So
that's one of the things we were going to be asked about during Ask Meanie, but we can ask it now. Mark Andrade had brought it up. He wants to know our thoughts on the revamped announce team. So for anyone who is not paying attention or who perhaps lives under a rock, Variety reported today Jimmy Smith is out on the Raw commentary team, and the new SmackDown team, while Pat McAfee is out, is Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Raw is Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves with Kathy Kelly as she's back as an interviewer. And Vic Joseph and Booker T are now taking over on NXT. Meanie, what do you think about the shakeup in the WWE announce booth?
Why is the one guy out? The guy who he was an MMA guy. I know
Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, is there a reason why he's out?
I think his contract was up. It doesn't give a reason for him being out. It just says that he was there. I guess they changed something, and now he is. Now he's out. And it said I think he was on Busted Open this morning. Shout out to the guys at Busted Open. Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray. They just had their, absolutely. Congrats. We'll get you a yo cuz on that one.
Yo cuz.
They just had their contract re-up for another 3 years at Sirius XM. So congratulations, fellas. Well deserved. You guys are fucking amazing. I listen every morning at my office. So way to go. Shout out to Tommy Dreamer and Mark Henry as well, and Thunder Rosa on the team. But he didn't say that. I don't recall him saying anything about any particular reason, just that the contract was up and they were making changes. But I like the idea. I got to hear a little bit of Bad News Barrett on commentary with
Barrett's great.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a matchup. I feel like there's probably something leading to him being on the commentary, though, because we all know Pat McAfee's coming back. So I wonder if that means Barrett
had been doing NXT for a little bit before he came back to WWE. He was doing NWA commentary, so he's been doing it for a little bit. But I'm glad they brought him up to SmackDown, or brought him over to SmackDown to fill in for Pat while Pat's off doing the college game day, or not college game day. It's their version of the Manning cast, so to speak, where if you watch Monday Night Football on ESPN2, it's the same game, but with the Eli and Peyton Manning talking over the game and doing inside analysis and stuff like that.
Right.
He's going to be doing that for college football, so that's why he had to step away from WWE for a little bit. So he'll probably be back once the college season, or whenever that deal is up with the college situation.
Yeah, I think it's December, if I recall correctly.
Gotcha. Good for Barrett. Great guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Kevin Patrick. I think he just started as a backstage interviewer up until recently, so he'll be on starting with Raw next week with Corey Graves. So it's a 2-man booth again. So I have no issue with Corey Graves. I think I started to get a little bit wonky about the commentary closer to, I guess, the beginning of this year. Some of the stuff he was saying was kind of getting a little hokey, but then I realized okay, Vince is writing a lot of that, and then you realize, now you listen to him now and you're like, now I understand. Now I get it. It's here because he's off the chain now. There's no real, I don't want to say there's no oversight, but I feel like, and Finn Balor made mention to this earlier in an interview, about sort of the creative freedom that they're experiencing right now over there. I feel like you can definitely hear that, and it's translating in all of the commentary as well. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what comes from this, and I am perpetually looking forward to hearing Booker T's commentary on NXT. I think that's going to be fucking great.
I'm a fan of Corey too, because you know, I've known him for over 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, Corey wrestled in Independence as Sterling James Keenan.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him at like a Pittsburgh Comic-Con I was doing an appearance at, and came over, introduced himself, very nice, very humble. And then his father was running a promotion called Far North Wrestling out in the Pittsburgh area. And him and his brother, Sam Adonis, were there all the time. And then Sam went off to become, Sam Adonis. And I worked for his father. And then, he got signed by WWE, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I got to travel the world with him too. We would go over to England for the 1PW shows and stuff like that. So, big fan of Corey Graves, big fan of him and his entire family.
Corey Graves and I actually share the same barber in Pittsburgh. It's 10th Ward Barbershop out there in Lawrenceville. So go ahead and check them out. Shout out to Ryan, Kane, and Jordan, the barbers out there. But yeah, that's how Kane and I linked up, was actually through Bray Wyatt initially. And then I found out he was with Corey Graves, which is pretty dope. But yeah, Corey is, from what I hear, all accounts, he's a pretty rad dude. So he's, I'm excited to see what comes from this. I'd love to see him back in the ring, though. I felt like they were teasing that a little bit with the Judgment Day, and I really thought we were going to get like a big curve there. I love that kind of shit though. Like when they hit you with something that you don't expect, and you're like, wait a second, I thought he was injured. One thing we should talk about, though, before we hit our Ask Meanie button here, Bluest Meanie, we should probably talk about the AEW kerfuffle, which is all over the Twitter sphere again between Andrade and Sammy Guevara. There is a lot more noise about more fighting backstage, with Andrade apparently throwing the punches in this, was sent home during the show. What's the Blue Meanie's thoughts on Andrade duking it out with Sammy Guevara?
Dude, it's unfortunate. I've been in a few locker rooms where, fights break out. And
yeah, stick around for the end of the show, guys, because we're officially going to discuss the JBL thing. So make sure you stay tuned in. Yeah.
But, it's, I like Sammy. I don't know Andrade, so I can't, I'm sure he's a great guy. From all accounts, he seems good, but I don't know what their beef is. But, it's a shame that, this is like the second time somebody's had to swing on Sammy in the locker room.
Yeah.
First Eddie Kingston had issue with Sammy and swung on him. And now Andrade's having an issue and swinging on him. And I hate when people air their beefs out on Twitter, just like I hate when shoots happen in the ring. If you have an issue, somebody pull them aside in the locker room, just, hey, talk it out. And this is why I think Tony Tony needs to, get like a Jim Ross,
yes,
or Tony Schiavone, just to be like head of talent, and just, they need like that veteran to just be the sheriff, like back in the day, with a WWE for the longest time, it was Undertaker, you fucked the locker room, Undertaker would, be the leader, and they would have like the wrestler's court and stuff like that. So I don't know like I said, I've only been in their locker room once, and when I was there, it was a great experience. I don't know what's going on now that, between, the Punk and the EVPs and Eddie swinging on Sammy and Andrade swinging on Sammy, just, it sucks. And, AEW's a good promotion, is in good product, and I want them to do well, but, it seems like there needs to be a little bit of a veteran presence in the locker room, where somebody says, knock that shit off. Or, you pull the two guys in a room and have them talk. Either talk or just fight and just get it out of your fucking system. There's a story, forget where it was. It was in Watts' territory, but I forget who the two wrestlers were, and they were beefing, and Watts said, go in a room, and made him go in a room and just fucking fight it out. And they fought and got out of the system, and they were cool from that point on.
Yeah.
Which you don't want to have to happen now, but I mean, if you're just going to keep squabbling on Twitter and it keeps getting drawn out, somebody needs to, butt in, so to speak. Like have a veteran. I mean, you got Chris Jericho there. Have him like, look, we can't have this shit. If we're going to be a cohesive, locker room, cohesive promotion, there needs to be some fucking order here. And don't air your fucking shit out on Twitter. Keep everything in house. Well,
that I think was going to be my next follow-up question was like, being back in the locker room in the 80s and 90s, like what was this like part of the course then? And you just didn't hear about these kinds of things? Because I feel like I'm in the Cornette camp. I know it's not popular to say, but I'm in the Cornette camp of, I feel like sometimes people share entirely too much on social media. And I feel like in some instances you're like, oh, probably really didn't need to know that. Like the EVP stuff and Punk and, Kingston. Like, I don't have any issues with any of these guys, but it's like, it happens at WWE too. Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. There was that whole incident. And I just feel like it's like, guys, maybe we can like not do these kinds of things publicly, but is this exclusive to just like right now? Do you think it's worse now than it ever was? Or do you think this is just a continuation of how the business has always been?
It's hard to say. I mean, I was watching Tales from the Territories last night, and they were talking about how they were having issues. Jerry Jarrett was talking about a guy, running in the ring and hitting him, and him knocking the guy's eyeball out of his head. So it's not as bad as it was in the 70s, I guess. But or guys coming up with hitting the ring with fucking straight razors and running in the locker room, and somebody ran down in the ring to attack Jerry Lawler with a straight razor, another wrestler, so to speak. Well, not so to speak. It was another wrestler. Jerry runs to the locker room and yells out what's going on, and Jimmy Valiant pulls out a gun and puts it right in the guy's face. So things were a little bit tougher back in the day. It wasn't just, social media battles. It was like legit, like territorial disputes.
Wow.
So, and shout out to the Dark Side of the Ring guys who Tales from Territory is awesome. It's I'm a big fan of the WWE series Legends of Wrestling. It is like a roundtable discussion where they were just settle on the topic. This kind of fills that void in my life that I've been missing. So shout out to them. Shout out to Rock. Shout out to Brian Gerwitz.
Yep.
Who are putting on those shows. Are fucking amazing. And I think next week's an all Andy Kaufman in Memphis thing roundtable, which is going to be awesome.
I cannot fucking wait for that, man. Cannot wait. Huge Andy Kaufman fan.
Yeah, I was listening to producers from. I was listening to Evan Husney talking. He said, while we were recording the Memphis episode, there were so many, Andy Kaufman stories. They were like, we should just pull those aside and have just like a 45 minutes of that. So that's going to be, week 1 was Memphis, and week 2 is going to be like an offshoot of the Memphis, but it's just going to be the Andy Kaufman stories.
Oh, God, I can't wait. I'm so hyped, man. Check it out. On Vice, right?
The season premiere is on Vice and YouTube. They're good about putting the first episode on YouTube to kind of get you addicted, so you have to go over to Vice and watch the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, and it just goes to show like there's always been beefs in wrestling.
Yeah.
And they're just handled differently. But it's always best to handle that shit in private.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep it off Twitter. I don't want to see it. I feel like it distracts too much. There's too much distraction when it comes to social media. We mentioned Jerry the King Lawler. Don't forget Super Jersey Comic Expo in Homedale, New Jersey, Saturday, November 5th. Jerry the King Lawler will be there if you would like to come and meet him. I can't wait to talk to him about Andy Kaufman. But Meanie.
Yes.
I can't wait to talk to you and also ask you a question at this moment. Dare I say.
Yeah, of course.
Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to.
It's time to ask me anything.
Ask me something.
Yeah, of course.
It's the shits.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Don't forget.
Yoka's fart is over. That's great.
Wait.
Yokai.
There we go.
Or do yokas and then the fart.
Yokai.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
I hit Pierce by accident.
Oh, okay.
Yokai.
Oh my God.
I'm going to fart from now on. I'm just going to run up to somebody and go, yo, cuz.
Let him rip. See, what happens is on the board, I have to figure out the setting because when I hit the button again, it doesn't shut off. It just like plays again. So I have to just let it ride. So that's why I was just like, no. We'll do it again. Well, fuck it. We'll play it live. Don't forget to tweet us your questions at Mind of the Meanie using the hashtag AskMeanie. You may hear them on the show. Andy Schlichter wants to know, hey, Meanie, I'm going to be at Extreme Rules tomorrow in Philadelphia. Will the Blue Meanie be making an extreme appearance?
No. They're in town. I was like, man, should I reach out and just say hi, go by and say hello? But, not yet.
Spooky Juice wants to know, the handle is Primetime Grape. I feel like I should follow this person just because of their name. Like, that's just, yeah. You know what, brother? You're getting a follow.
Dude, I watch the Road, big fan of Road Dogg and his podcast. And they do Ask Road Dogg, and there's a guy on there, Yambag Jones. And every time they say his name,
yep,
Castro Kid and Road Dogg just fucking, and me, burst out in laughter just
incredible.
For Yambag Jones.
Incredible. I called Danny. Danny is the voice of the end of this program, Mind of the Meanie. He only eats chicken patties at school, and he's very excited. So I call him Chicken Patty Jones, which he thinks is hilarious. So I love Yambag Jones as well. But Spooky Juice is an incredible name. What are your top 5 favorite movies that have a wrestler in them?
Favorite top 5 movies that have a wrestler
that have wrestlers in them?
Me and the wrestler. No, I'm just kidding.
Dylon. Top 5.
Well, for me, ultimately, it's would have to be Roddy Piper and They Live, right?
I was hoping you were going to say Suburban Commando, but
dude, fucking spoiler alert! God damn.
Well, goddamn.
Piper and They Live. Let's say Professor Toro Tanaka in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure.
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. Hold on. Terry Funk in Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. He'll see you now, and he gets thrown through the fucking door. What was that, 3 so far?
Mm-hmm.
Tatanka and what's that fucking movie? Natural Born Killers.
Tatanka was in Natural Born Killers?
Match was on the TV.
Oh, I see.
Rodney Dangerfield's doing his fucking commentary. Rodney Dangerfield's doing commentary over it. Or maybe I could shoot. There's one of my favorite teen movies, Can't Buy Me Love, with Patrick Dempsey. His little brother's watching Saturday Morning Wrestling. He's like, he's going to kick him. And then Bill Dundee, during the match, kicks his opponent. Goes, And there's a Ric Flair match in a movie called Class Action with Gene Hackman. And then he's like, oh, yeah, these two, I handled a case between them over their characters. And I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. That's a little sidebar. So Piper, They Live, Funk, and Over the Top. Shit, I forgot. I'm shitty.
Let me see if I can run this. Let me see if I can run it back. We have They Live with Piper. You have cool. Natural Born Killers with Tatanka. You have Professor Tanaka. Was it Tanaka in Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
Yeah.
And what was the 4th one?
Movie was fucking Big Show in The Water Boy.
There you go. That's a good one.
He was great in that. Captain Nintendo.
I could have sworn
he got the trademark for that name.
He did. Tony Khan's got it. Yeah. I can't wait. So good, man. My favorite, though, I would say Andre the Giant in The Princess Bride.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that too. Yeah. Andre the Giant, Princess Bride. My list really, I mean, I'm going off the top of my fucking rattled brain, but yeah. You know, here's weird. I love Andre the Giant. And, you know, when people go, who's your favorite wrestler? And I don't say Andre the Giant. They go, oh, I thought you liked Andre. Well, fuck. I got the guy tattooed on my fucking leg.
Yeah, this is an established thing already. Yeah.
Andre the Giant's bigger than wrestling.
Yeah.
He's bigger than wrestling, you know? It's, yeah, he was he's one of my favorites all time, but, you know, I don't think it needs to be said, you know, but, you know, he's bigger than wrestling, you know, so, I'm trying to think of any other, since, you know, speaking of wrestlers and movies,
yeah,
you know,
there's that guy who does all the movie. What the hell's his name? Dewey. You familiar with him? Dwayne.
Oh yeah, Dewey,
yeah. He does all them flicks. Yeah, he was the guy with the eyebrow. Remember?
Yeah, he's from the area.
Oh, yeah, he's a local dude. He's just a local guy. Yeah, he's fucking Dewey. Everybody knows Dewey from the block. Hey, Dewey, how you doing?
You know. Oh, you know what? I'm going to redo my list.
Do it.
I have to redo.
Go, cause.
Tatanka definitely technically wasn't in that. It was just footage. All right. Fucking okay. Piper, They Live. Andre, Princess Bride. Jesse Ventura and Predator.
Yes.
Jesse Ventura and Predator. Professor Toru Tanaka, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Just because that's like such an Easter egg, and Terry Funk in Over the Top.
I'm going to add one more to that list. Jesse Ventura in Demolition Man.
Yes. Oh no, that was Running Man.
No, he was in Demolition Man too. He's sitting with Stallone and Wesley Snipes.
Oh, okay.
He's sitting at he's sitting at the table at the end. He's one of Wesley Snipes' henchmen. Yeah, he's in it like for a brief second, but he's great.
That's awesome.
Flatbed Mike wants to know, when the United Kingdom gets an NFL franchise, do you think the I'm sorry, I said their name properly. I should have shortened it. The Jags will move, or will they add another club? And what division would they play in? Oh, and what would be a good name for a UK NFL franchise? Go Birds.
Shout out to Flatbed Mike. They should move the Jags to fucking England. I think they'd get more of a fucking home crowd.
The Manchester Jags.
I guess the only thing that would suck is like it would be like a 6-hour flight for whoever goes there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, imagine being the LA team going from LA to London. You know, like if the Rams were playing the Jags.
Well, maybe,
or if the Jags had to play in LA, that'd be a 6-hour flight to the States, and then how long?
4 or 5 hours. Well, maybe what if they do, like, if they have a division, right? What if they did like more of a central location instead of doing that like over to the UK, right? Or if it's like all 4 teams are in one spot, right? You do like a dedicated section of the season in the United Kingdom. Yeah, they do like a designated section of the season inside of the UK. That way you're absolving everybody from flying out. Or, I think that would make way more sense than flying them 11 hours to go to fucking California to play like the Raiders,
Whoever would have to play in London would need like a bye week next week or something like that.
Yeah.
Or just fucking recuperate. But I think eventually there's going to be a team over there.
It seems inevitable.
Every year I love watching the games from London because that means I get to wake up at 9 a.m. and watch football from 9 a.m. till fucking basically midnight all day.
I couldn't think of a better day than that.
I mean, technically, the Jags have been like an unofficial England team, but if they made a team,
was that a thought? Did you belch?
That was a very pregnant pause. Dude, what would be a good name?
The Manchester Biscuits. I'm just teasing. The Crimpets.
The Manchester Digestives. That's my favorite.
Well, what do they call the Manchester Redcoats? That's actually not a bad name.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think of it. There was I had it. It was right on the tip of my tongue. It fucking dissipated into the ether. I would have to say, dude, because what division would you put them in? Because there's East Coast.
I would know. That's what I was going to say. I think you'd probably have to put them in the East Coast. You'd have to.
Yeah. The far East Coast, so to speak. But yeah, that's a very good question. I'm sure I'll think of a million great names once we're done recording.
Well, Meanie, I want to thank you for your time and answering these questions tonight. Meanie, where can everybody find you, good sir, on your social media?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, go to @BlueMeanie, BWO. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, which I'm petrified. I'm scared to use, but one day I'll get over my fear. Go to @BlueMeanie, BWO, all forms of social media. Support the Blue Meanie. You would like to support the Blue Meanie, and if you have, thank you very much. I'll have to say this: there's nothing more exciting than when I get that notification from Pro Wrestling Tees that, like, oh, you've sold a shirt. That means, oh, somebody cares. So it means a lot to me. So if you want to support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. If you would like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. We have so many great shirts there. Some done by our own Andy Slickner. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon code Meanie. Save 10%. Shout out to Rod Hicks over there at collarandelbowbrand.com, doing great stuff. He does a lot of great stuff for wrestlers in general too. If there's a wrestler down or they do a tribute shirt or stuff like that. So, shout out to collarandelbowbrand.com. Now you got all these, this great looking wrestling swag. If you're a bearded fellow like myself, go to madcatbeardcare.com and get the blue spruce. I should have gave Gritty some blue spruce. I'm about to get him some blue spruce for the Gritty one. But seriously, go to madcatbeardcare.com, get the blue spruce. My boy Josh Thornton is doing an amazing job over there, and all the money raised over there at madcatbeardcare.com goes to taking care of feral cats. He rounds them up, takes them over to the vet, gets them looked at and taken care of, and loves the kitties. So doing a great job over there. Shout out to my boy Jim and Nelson over at glaciersofice.com. That's glaciersofice.com. Jim does amazing work. He made a 3 of 3 only handmade custom BWO Air Jordan 1 sneakers for Stevie Richards, Nova, and myself. Each pair of sneakers that Jim makes takes about 50 hours per pair to make. So if you want to see what his work, see what he does a lot of progress photos and videos. Go to on all forms of social media at GOI Kicks. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, GOI Kicks. Go see what my boy Jim's doing over there at Glaciers of Ice. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie. What more can I say? Birthdays, holidays, well wishes, graduations, whatever you got going on. Or I do business opportunities as well over there at cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. Go over there, check it out, and I'll say hello to the blue guy, and the blue guy say hello back. So, but more importantly, Mr. Adam, where can we find you, Mr. Barnard?
More importantly, sir, you are the star of this program. I am just your humble assistant here, but thank you very much. Facebook, Jesus, I did it again. Instagram, Twitter. This is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. Go ahead and check it out. FoundationRadio.net is where you can find my secondary program, Foundation Radio. Just had an incredible interview with the former speechwriter, director of speechwriting under President Barack Obama, Cody Keenan. Also, I'll have you know, a fan of not just pro wrestling, but the Blue Meanie, because as we all know, hashtag everyone loves Meanie. Go and check it out there. Pick up a t-shirt, prowrestlingtees.com/Foundation Radio. Keep the lights on at the Barnard home for wayward and troubled youth. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie, ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie, and Twitter, Instagram, Mind of the Meanie, where you can follow us and keep up to date on everything that's happening on the show. Blue Meanie, I want to say thank you to you, sir, for doing the show with me every week and continuing to help keep the lights on for the Blue Meanie. James is here too. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip to the mind
Blue World Order.
of the Meanie. Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie was recorded and produced by Adam Barnard and was engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional production and narration provided by Sam Krebs. Our executive producers are Josh Chernoff, Adam Barnard, and the Blue Meanie. Our opening theme is performed by the Swamp Candles. Our closing theme is performed by Chikara. The show contains original music produced by Enrichment. Get additional bonus content by becoming our patron on Patreon at patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Mind of the Meanie. This has been a Butts Carlton media production in conjunction with the MLW Radio Network. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?
The world of MLW Radio never stops.